The recent fuel protests forced the government to make significant concessions to one sector of Irish society who were hit very hard by the fuel price hikes. The recent SNA and school community protests forced the government to make significant concessions, not enough, but to allocate hundreds of millions more to provide for special needs. Workers need to learn the lesson of those protests and begin to mobilise, because workers are being left behind. They are being hammered by a cost of living crisis that has been going on for several years now, and a housing and accommodation crisis. Working people are seriously struggling. 1 in 4 households in this country are suffering energy poverty or struggling to pay their bills. That is an incredible indictment of one of the wealthiest countries in the world. The elephant in the room is that while workers pay the biggest amount of tax of any group in this country, they earn less in total than the corporate sector that have seen their profits go through the roof. The entire corporate sector earns far more but pays much less in tax. So workers are subsidising, through their hard work and through struggling with the cost of living crisis, are subsidising a profits bonanza for big business in this country, sections of our society who are actually profiteering from the cost of living and the housing crisis. And that needs to be addressed. And it's clear that the only thing that's going to force the government to change its priorities is protest and mobilisation by working people. Some of the biggest mobilisations of working people in this country ever happened in the late 70s and early 80s with the tax marches, which were organised by groups like the Dublin Council of Trade Unions. They came after farmers' protests and were to some degree prompted by farmers' protests back then. So we should follow that precedent again. We've seen parts of rural Ireland mobilise and win concessions. The Labour and working class movement should follow that example.